Hey Vision fans, it's day 2 of rehearsals at Eurovision 2025, and today we're checking out the 8 countries in the second half of the first semi-final. We've got 3 photos for each country. We're going to go through and see what clues this gives us about the fashion, the staging, what could happen, get a little bit of hype and excitement for the semi-finals, which are coming up next week. So let's geeky. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst, and you can find all this stuff on my Eurovision channel. If you haven't seen already, I did my day 1 rehearsal reaction. That's the first half of the first semi-final. Go check that out if you haven't seen it already. We're going to do the same thing today. Quick reminder to subscribe. I've got my Who's Gonna Win Eurovision video coming out. I've done my Q&A video. I'm editing. I'm going to release those episodes because it was so mother-loving long. I don't think anyone wants to sit through 2 hours of me answering questions, so I'm going to chop it up and then I'll release that probably before Eurovision week. I'm going to be using the photos from the official Eurovision Instagram account. My God, why is that so hard to say? And they're from Corinne Cumming and the other photography team, so shout out to them. I'm also going to be reading the little rehearsal clips that are on Reddit. That's from ESC Discord, who I think are like the accredited people this year who get to see the rehearsal, so shout out to them as well for their coverage. There's going to be a couple of spoilers here. I think if you come into a rehearsal clip video, you've got to expect a couple of spoilers. First up, we have the Netherlands. So first photo, let's look at Claude's fashion. Now, Discord described this as purple. This is not purple, but so I have to admit I was a little bit disappointed when I saw it because I was expecting the type of purple that I use as my color on my channel, a deep royal purple. Instead, this is a little bit more of a wine red brown. So I have to check myself a little bit because I was a little bit disappointed when I saw it because it wasn't that purple, but actually I do like the outfit. So I need to like reset my brain after that kind of initial disappointment. Yeah, he's got this nice wine brown colored. We've got some pearl details here. I think there's some like pearl drapery as well. Let's go to the second pic because we can see a little bit more. Yeah, you can see the pearl details there. You can see this is probably a little bit more of the solemn part of the song. The Discord description described that he's going to be on stage with 2 contemporary dancers, and it sounds like they're going to be passing in and out of the screen, which I think is really cool. That's going to be like a very different way of presenting the choreography. There's going to be some solemn bits at the start with the piano. So we're going to get a mix of the seriousness, which I think fits in with his personal story as well. The seriousness, and then this kind of like finding joy in this very, very turbulent and difficult part of his life. So it sounds like it's going to be very autobiographical. Third pick, this is possibly at the start where he's doing his slower part. We've got 3 people sitting around him in violins. I don't know. I like that. It gives me a sense of community. This lighting is stunning. That totally black background with this beautiful lighting is, wow, that's such a stunning photo. I don't feel like the Netherlands are giving too much away now. I'm still super excited about this. These pictures are holding some cards close to their chest, definitely, because we're not seeing the dancers. We're not seeing any movement yet. This is them just kind of showing off the outfit. I think showing off the start of the performance, keeping some of their secrets for later. Keep in mind, we're going to have the second rehearsal photos. Are we getting some video clips? I think so. It's getting less and less and less each year. Remember when we used to see like full rehearsal clips? And now we're getting 3 photos. And sometimes the photos aren't even of different things, like yesterday with Slovenia. The description is that this is very joyful, very happy song, which I think is totally what it is and what it needs to be on stage. A lot of people, I think, are going to be looking for distraction, some fun in their life. And I think that Claude Cloud is going to do that. So yeah, look, not the most exciting pictures, but that doesn't mean at all that the staging isn't going to be absolutely wonderful. I think it is. I think the Dutch delegation have been wonderful in recent years in staging, bringing a professionalism and quality to that. The bit I'm most excited for is the choreography. This is one of my most anticipated choreographies this year. I absolutely loved the choreography in the music video, so I'm hoping that they're keeping that style because it was absolutely fabulous. Why did I do Netherlands first? I don't know why I did Netherlands first. I was like, don't worry, I'm going to go back into order now. I just clicked on it because it was the first one on Instagram. Yes, let's go back into running order. Let's go to Norway. And these photos are wonderful. This looks like a deluxeified version of the MGP staging. Way more deluxe version of what we saw in MGP. This first photo is stunning. We still have that apocalyptic, we still have that polka pocket lipstick vibe going on. So we have that on the LEDs behind. Love this red. And then we have the contrast with the blue. This light work is really fabulous. This looks really exhilarating. This fan of lights around him. This looks very accessible. This is one of the most mainstream songs for me this year. That anyone who just doesn't want the craziness or wants a little bit more old school Eurovision or that familiar feel, I think this is where they're coming. This staging looks familiar as well. There's nothing new here, but it looks really, really well produced. This is like a Norway, Sweden, very well produced stage show vibe, your safe space for the year. I feel very, very good about this qualifying. I just think it's that like solid broad appeal that's just going to get a lot of votes because it's just going to be accessing so many people. No one's going to be offended by this at all. Picture number 2, we get a close-up of the outfit. I love it. I love that he's gone back to the medieval feel because I love that at MGP. And then we have this potential issue with him clashing with Parg from Armenia. Maybe that's something they talked about when they were in the pre-parties. Maybe they said, look, can I take a sneaky peek at your fashion? They're in different semi-finals, by the way, but they could potentially meet in the final. But maybe they just said, hey, look, here's a picture of my outfit. Here's a picture of your outfit. Oh, actually, they're different. I'm going to go back to my original medieval one. Love these details with the chainmail, the sleeve armor on. It just creates a fantasy. It's escapism. It's being in your Game of Thrones dance break fantasy. Who didn't want the Game of Thrones character to break into a dance break at some point? It would have just broken the ice a little bit. We're only seeing photos of him on his own, by the way. I haven't seen any dancers, so that's interesting. I assume the dancers are going to be there because I think they add in lots of energy. Maybe it's just that's what they're saving for the next photo day. Love this photo. Again, wonderful light. It looks like we have the portal again. A little bit more details here. You can see on the portal that we're getting kind of imperfections, striations that the light can hit. So it's kind of, this is what I'm talking about, deluxification. Instead of it being like a smooth, cheaper piece of plastic, this is more expensive material. And then you get that small details like that texture. Look at the texture on the side of the portal. And then that contrasted with this plain white LED. Really, really, really wonderful. Nice lighting here as well. And then we come into the last one. And this effect that they've done with the lights is incredible. It almost looks like rain or when you shine a light through really heavy rain. Like so many lights going at once, creating all these like lines, like someone's written them with a pencil or something. Really, really, really wow. And we have fire. Who was BSing me, telling me that there's no fire? I heard from someone that Cole told them that there was no fire allowed this year. Cole from Škoda Elektronika. There is allowed fire and you can hang from the ceiling. So all these rumors and rules were coming from that weren't true in the end. Yes, you can have fire on the stage. It does look quite controlled. It looks like it's almost like a ring. So maybe they were told you just can't have generic fire. It needs to be like very well contained. And they've designed, maybe it looks like a line or something that can like burst up flames in a line. But yeah, wonderful. Song about lighter. You have to have the fire in it. I wonder, is he going to do like a fire in his hand thing? Steal that idea from Liamo and also from Alexander Ryan. Did an MGP in 2020 as well. Steal it, babe. Steely, steely, steelies. This is Eurovision. It's cutthroat time. You can't play nice. You need to qualify. I hope he does do something like that. But this looks wonderful. Very deluxe. Deluxification.com/Norway. That's what I want. Very excited for this. And I feel much more comfortable and safe that this is going to make it through. Okay, who's next up in the running order? It's Belgium, isn't it? Okay, next up, let's go to Belgium. First photo, we're straight into the outfit. Now, this is deluxification as well. I complained a tiny bit about his outfits looking a bit too baggy in the pre-party season. Just swallowing up a little bit. This is a little bit more form-fitted. It's a bit busy, but I like it. It's giving a bit of a character. I particularly like this sleeve, which is giving me Disney Gaston. Didn't he have those big sleeves that kind of like came out? We've got a couple of strappy straps, which are going to flow if there's a little bit of wind going on. Yeah, I like his pose here as well. That's a good thing for me is he looks confident. I've been struggling a bit with his charisma and characterization on stage and not really getting that aura that I need, that kind of like boss energy that Erica Wiekman has. This is a good pose though. It looks strong, holding the mic. They're going heavy on the red. We knew that was going to happen. I think that can really, really pop. I think red can look really, really striking. And I like it against this blue. It's, you know, we get so many pink and blue. This is a little bit off that. It's a little bit more of a blood orange red with a more aqua blue. So it's a tiny bit of a stepping away from the more standard pink and blue. First photo. Second photo, we're getting some really cool effects on the LED here. Going into this blood orange. It almost looks like rain. And also his outfit's starting to look a little bit metallic. The way the lights are hitting off it, it's giving a little bit of armor vibes as well. So this is a really, really stunning picture as well. And again, we're seeing this posing. So that implies to me that he's been given some choreography. I think they're trying to just say, look, if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable on stage, hit this pose, hit that pose. This is your next mark. And that just gives him some safe spaces he can hold himself in and then focus a little bit more on the vocals. I think his charisma on stage is going to be very, very important. This is still so high in the odds. I can't believe how high this is in the odds. Stop betting on this, people. Give your money to charity or give it to me. Buy me a coffee if you want. But yeah, this isn't winning. I think this would be great if this could qualify, but my God, I don't get why it's still so high in the winning odds. Really, really hope that he can qualify on his birthday. This is a lovely second photo. And then the last one, girl, I don't even know which one's which. I think it's him on the left, and then there's a clone on the right. Let me read the Reddit description. Sounds like he's going to interact, do some choreography, interacting with himself, an image of himself on the ground. We're going to have 3 dancers who I think are kind of impersonating him. They're styled very similarly, and this photo looks to me like they're meant to be clones, a little bit like we saw in Young K with Goldilocks this year, potentially. Not definitely, but this photo, they do look very, very, very similar. That could be good as well, because again, if he's struggling or feeling a little bit nervous on stage, having clones on stage who are super confident, people might get mixed up and think, oh, he looks really, really confident, but actually it's a dancer. And of course, dancers are good, professional dancers are going to be extremely confident in how they move. So that could be like a slightly clever strategy. Get a body double in for the confident choreography moments. I kind of like that if that is what they're doing. But yes, apparently the finale of this is going to be really, really wow. We're going to get lots of energy. I'm thinking of Czechia Lights Out, how they did their chorus with the chaos of the lights. Could they be doing something like this? I feel more confident about this. So this looks very slick, very put together. Seems more strategic to me. Last year, I don't know what happened. I don't know if Musty had this idea and nobody told him it was a bad idea, or that's what they forced on him. I don't know what the dynamic was. If you do know, let me know down below what went wrong with Belgium last year. But this looks like they've got lots of ideas and the bad ideas have been gotten rid of. This looks slicker. It looks like it's going to be more impressive. So I'm feeling more confident about this. I do still feel like this and Norway are just so similar, and they could have very easily been separated by putting someone in between them, and they didn't. Okay, now let's go to Azerbaijan. Mama Gama singing Run With You. First photo is of lead singer. Really beautiful outfit here, like a metallic black fitted jacket. Not getting too much other information from that. We are hearing that there's going to be some dancers up on the LED. That's giving me trauma from Who the Hell is Edgar? Austria 2023. Hopefully it looks a little bit, hopefully it's better than that. Photo number 2, again, not giving too much information. Again, we're going for this kind of like chic black vibe, giving a little bit of future, but giving me 80s future, how future shows looked in the 80s and the 90s. So little information. Apparently, I think the third photo's got the most. Yes, it does. Third photo here, we've got the most information by far. We've got this ring that looks a little bit like Lord of the Rings or maybe a hula hoop, and then it's mirrored on the ground as well. And we've got some fire. Azerbaijan, land of fire. We're always going to have a little bit of fire with them. They can't resist. Apparently, this is going to have Daft Punk vibes to it. Very summery and light. And we have 3 dancers in cat suits. Very hard to see here. We've got 2 female and a male dancer in red and blue cat suits. Feels like Azerbaijan's going for a little bit more of a like standard staging. More people on stage. Bring backup dancers this time. Going for more like happy energy. I wonder what they're going to be doing with this ring. Are they going to be doing some tricks with it? Is it going to move around? Color palette wise, we're not getting too much information. We're seeing the first photo is kind of like these blacks and these like dark oranges going into a couple of golds. Second photo, again, is a little bit gold and black. And then the last photo is we're getting this blood orange with the white or yellow ring. When we get to the traditional part, are we going to get more colors on the stage? So there's still lots of information left to see. I would love to see a moving version of this to see like what kind of camera angles they're going to be using. What does the vibe feel like? I think this is a big vibe song. Are they going to bring like a summery, lighthearted feel? Is it going to feel fun? Is it going to go too serious? Like, I think the last couple of entries that both came 14th were maybe just missing something in the feel on stage. So that's one of the key things for me. Not giving away too much here. The first 2 photos are like absolute minimal information. And even though they're showing the outfits, you can't see the outfits that clearly. I wish we'd gotten a slightly better picture with some underlighting. We've seen in a lot of the photos I showed from the first half that the lighting was wonderful. We're getting it from underneath the stage. It was really showing off all the details in the outfit. And here I'm just getting darkness. So I'm hoping this is not the lighting they're using in the actual show, because I can't see their outfit. The poor designer busted their ass and you can't even see the work. Next up is San Marino. I'm sorry I didn't get my San Marino video out on time. I did film it. It's just, girl, I'm busy. I've missed the window for song reactions. I'm very, very sorry. You heard most of my opinions about San Marino in my pre-party videos. I talked about them longer in those videos. Okay, first picture is Gabri Ponte. It looks like, I'm sorry, this looks a little bit like, you know, those plastic aluminium things they put on you when you've fallen into icy water and they're trying to heat you up. It's giving that, but with a little bit of tailoring on the neck and the waist. Like someone said, let's make this aluminium warm-up sheet chic, during like one of those challenges you have in Project Runway where they give you 30 seconds to make something normal chic. That's a horrible description. I'm sure it's nicer than that, but I'm just basing it on the photo. LED wise, not really too much information there. Let's go to the second pick. And we've got this really interesting color palette here of this, like a kind of mauve pastel purple with a bright fuchsia pink. And that's really cool, but very unexpected. It actually reminded me a little bit of Megara from last year, 1111, who had a similar pink, but they were pairing it up with black and white. But this is very, very unexpected. Now, when I zoom in, because I'm a weirdo who zooms in on rehearsal pictures, we're seeing he's got the decks on stage. Is he going to have the deck curse? Very few songs with decks on stage qualify. I think the last one I remember is Joust from MGP, but Alexander was on the mic, so he was kind of the main focus, and then Joust was in the background. Gabri is front and center stage. Then it looks like we've got two of the dancers. Did they ditch one of them? I don't know. I'm kind of for that though. If you saw my pre-party review video, I said that they shouldn't. Let me check the Reddit description because maybe they'll say how many people are on stage. Yeah, apparently they've gotten rid of the dancers and they're going to have two instrumentalists. That makes me think, okay, so we got Gabri, two instrumentalists, then are the three singers there, but we just can't see them in the photo. Maybe one of them is behind Gabri here or something. I don't know. I want to party on the stage. This isn't giving me party vibes. Like you look at Vibe from my first video. They had the party vibe. We're getting energy and movement and whatnot. This looks too spread out. Maybe like everyone's separated, like they're kind of quarantining and COVID. I don't know if that gives me party feels. It gives me quarantining vibes. So yeah, everyone's very far apart. Do we get a picture of the people? No, the third photo is just Gabri as well. And the Reddit description is saying that a lot of the focus is on him, which I don't know is a good idea. He's got good energy now. He's really selling it. He's really like behind and bopping. But again, historically, we just see that people don't seem to respond to that. People don't respond to these DJ staging behind the deck. And poor San Marino gets so little help as it is at the start anyway. I feel like they're kind of in a deficit. Some people, people are saying they're going to get 12 from Italy. It's very possible that Italy gives their 12 to Estonia or to Albania. There's a huge Albanian diaspora in Italy. I wanted to come out of these photos and be like, party with lots of E's at the end, like big long E's. And I'm getting separation vibes. Like they've been, I don't know, I'm not feeling party, babe. I don't know if focusing on Gabri is the best idea. I think there should be party in the front of the stage. There's no granny here like they had in the music video making the traditional Italian sauce. That could have been a real fun moment. It would have been high camp and risky. I'm not denying that, but this looks like they're going for slick separation. Let's wait and see more photos. Maybe we'll get the party, but I need to feel mother love and party, and I'm not feeling that. Okay, let's move on to the next person. It's Albania, Shokoda Elektronika. First photo. Oh, I love this so much. Beatrice. By the way, is it Beatrice or is it Beatrice? Albanians, tell me down below. I've been anticipating her outfit all frickin' season. You can't see it this clearly, but the small bit of it that I can see looks wonderful because it looks like flames. But it's not like too literal. It's not like they've cut out individual fires. This is like alluding to flames in a more metaphorical way. Really, really beautiful. It's like this slight copper. It's a little bit off red. I'm really, really happy to see that Albania is going for a different color palette and not just automatically defaulting to the black and the red. Look how beautiful this icy blue is against her copper red dress. It looks so divine. Really, really, really pretty. Look at these small details on the inside of the dress. You can see a little bit of yellow there. In her sleeve, it looks like we've got this kind of like beige bits coming out. It looks really, really gorgeous. I can't wait to see this up close. She's had the most wonderful fashion throughout the whole pre-party season, and I can't wait to see her final choice. This looks really detailed and intricate. So much effort put into small details. That's what I want. You're on the Eurovision stage, 180 people, million are watching you. Your outfit should be detailed like absolute crazy. Love that lighting. Very, very atmospheric. I love the music video. I hope they're bringing that dark, somber mood. A little bit like Catharsis, but with a little bit more hope infused to it. Catharsis feels a little bit more nihilistic towards the end, whereas I feel this has a nihilistic feel, but with hope kind of creeping in like the Romanda flower. So I hope that we see that hope shining. Second picture is Kala. I believe this is called a pea jacket, a pea coat. It's like a pea coat, but the collar's been turned up. So I don't know if that makes it into a different coat. Let's see what Reddit says about this, by the way. Oh, Kala's got his drum back. He's going to be hitting his drum that he was hitting in Festival of Kungas. That's interesting. Oh, wow. And her mum made that dress as well. That's really beautiful that her mum is super talented. And she's got one glove in one hand and not the other. Okay, so not too much information in the Reddit thread, but Kola is going to be hitting the drum. We have these white and black boxes on stage. They look a little bit cheap close up, but I assume that we're not going to be getting this type of close up. I think we're going to be more panned out. And then they look like the type of boxes that you can project an image onto. That's the impression I'm giving, that kind of like clear, opaque white. I think you can put colors onto that and shapes and kind of moving around things. So I hope that that's what we see. I don't know what's going to be happening fully with color. That's not in the description. I think just the fact that he's in something, he's surrounded in a part. I just want to know, what is he doing before and after he does his part? I loved when he was in the armchair with the newspaper on fire. So I'm a little bit sad that I don't think that's happening. Let's wait and see. Maybe they're saving it. Let's get to the third photo. First of all, I love this motif at the top. I'm guessing that could be like a traditional pattern, maybe from Shkodra in northern Albania. We know that they're singing the dialect. And then I'm going to see if I can get a zoom in here, because it looks like they're in a plus sign in the middle. And then it looks like we're getting an L on all fours, kind of like northeast, south, and west. And at this point in the song, it looks like Kola's facing forward and he's maybe hitting it. So look, this can be really, really wide. This comes down to the camera angles for me. How are they placing Kola in them? Is he this menacing figure in the background? How's he going to be lit? We know that Beatrice is going to be wonderful. She's got her dancing, which has been absolutely fabulous for the whole season. Lots of fire. We expect that the song's called Fire. Of course they're going to do that. And I'm glad to see that they can, after previous incorrect rumors that they wouldn't be able to have fire on stage. Very, very excited for this. Last year, Albania's rehearsal photos were so bad for Titan. Just confusing and weird. This is much, 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 much better. I feel positive about this. That first photo is really striking to me. Next up is the Netherlands, who I already talked about. Oops. So, why is there Netherlands? It was the first one on Instagram, that's why. So I've already spoken about them. Let's go to Croatia. Oh my goodness. The fashion, babe. The fashion is fashioning. This first photo, I said in my Croatia video, go big, and they've gone big. Love it. I think that they've seen that they were down and out. They're like, F it. Let's just go all in. Let's go all in on one big thing. This costume is so risky. We're getting some furs here, so it's giving me a little bit of Neolithic vibes, but then we're getting, it looks like a white possible ruffle. Really going to stand it. He's right at the end of the show, and he's coming before Switzerland. So I think this is really, really going to pop. Love it. Love the risk. I wanted Croatia to step up and show we are one of the strong delegations, because I'm already thinking now, looking at this photo, this is really dramatic. It's giving me a little bit of Shakespeare. Over the top, it's going to be memorable. And I think that Marco likes that. I think he likes being in something that's playing such a character. Second photo, wonderful. We have these 4 female dancers from Dora who I absolutely love, with this kind of like weird, monstrous, poisonous, toxic choreography. Really, really wonderful. And we can see his outfit again. I'm going to show you a close-up where he's got this wonderful cape giving like Henry VIII vibes, evil Croatian prince in a castle. Love it. It's so magical and fantasy. And we've got this fabulous green background, like a hazy, smoke, toxic. And then all of these bits, I didn't even know the stage could do this, but all of these like parts are moving. This looks like total chaos, and it looks so different from everybody else. I think the energy here is going to be really wonderful. Look at these beautiful lines on top of all this green. Really, really excellent. I'm feeling so much more confident. I'm not saying that they're going to qualify, but like this was my last ranked song when I did my semi-final 1 prediction video. And I'm not putting it last anymore, because I think this has got better chances than some of the other people. This looks so striking. And I love the green. It's very daring to use green. Very few countries are brave enough to use green for some reason. But yeah, it really, really pops, and it fits in with this kind of like toxic poison feel. I hope we get loads of toxic poison imagery. And then this last image. Wow, this is so good. This beautiful, again, it's toxic pink. This fluorescent, neon, unnatural pink. And again, we're getting all these lines. I didn't know the stage can do that, but it looks wonderful. It just looks so wow stage show. Marco appears to have taken off his clothes. Can we see what he's wearing underneath? No, but it looks like it's got exaggerated shoulders, which fits in with him playing this character. He's serving a little bit of hand on the head. Oh, I love the dancers are so wonderful. Look at all these different poses. Oh, I'm really feeling much more confident about Croatia. This is so beautiful and exciting. This is what makes semifinals more exciting, is when some of the more solid countries who thought were going to qualify don't really deliver, but then some of the countries at the bottom step up, and then you just have this like total chaos of, okay, I don't know who's qualifying now. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Croatia showing that fighting spirit, We're never going to give up. Marco's been through such a tough time in the last year. Him qualifying would be such a delicious cherry on that poison cake. My God, what an epic FU to everybody who's been criticizing and being so hard on him. I hope that the community can get behind it, but I want him to earn it. I don't want us to have to like baby him into the grand final. This looks like they're putting in a bam wow performance. They've learned things from the last 2 years with Baby Lasagna and Let3 and how to be crazy and different and stand out while still being very authentic and real on stage. Loved it. Let's keep up with the non-stop goopery gaggery, because I woke up this morning and the first thing I did was I logged into Instagram and I looked up the photos and I did a quick sweep of the page and this just popped to me. Look how pop this is. Not just pop because it pops, because it's giving pop video as well. Look at this symmetry. We have this V shape which actually forms an X with a reflection on the ground. This is effing stunning. I really want to swear because this deserves a swear word. This is effing stunning. My God. Look at the poise in the dancers at the bottom, the position they're holding them in, this kind of like aggressive, ready military pattern. We have the dancers at the top on the scaffolding, which looks like it can open and close. This is Sergio Hyen. I think this confirms for me that he is currently the hottest artistic director right now, because these photos were the most wow for me. Now, theoretically, some other countries could have wow photos and they're saving them for later. That could be the case, but I can only go by what delegations are actually putting out now. And this is the wowest for me, I think, of the entire semi-final. It's the one that stopped me. Love the outfits. They're kind of going for these simple black outfits. I think we see a little bit more detail in the second photo. Look at this. This homage to the Vitruvian Man from Leonardo da Vinci. Wow. This is just a wow moment. You just can't forget this. This is just like, compare this to like Eurovision in the 90s, where people used to just like literally stand there and do nothing. And now we've got Theo hanging from freaking scaffolding, making the Vitruvian Man with dancers behind him. It is absolutely so stunning, really, really artistic. Gooped and gagged and goop gaggery. And we need new words for all this. Yeah, really, 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 really wow. Now, hopefully they aren't showing all their tricks now. And we also see this is probably why Cyprus were put last, because they've got the scaffolding. So it gives them more time. In case you don't know, they have 30 seconds to bring stuff on and off. So if they've got something that's more complex, they want to put it before or after an ad break. So they give themselves an extra couple of minutes to bring it onto the stage. Could be because it's a little bit of a showstopper. Could also be because the scaffolding is there. It's the last song, so they have plenty of time to take the scaffolding off stage and don't need to worry about anything falling over or whatever. We can actually see it's not a plain outfit. He's got a little bit of a strap here. It looks like it could be a little bit of a velvet. It has like a bit of a soft pattern on the clothing, which maybe might hit the light. But yeah, he looks very comfortable here. This looks like his type of wow pop stage show that I think that he's comfortable with. Because in all these photos now, I'm believing him 100%. Like all three of these photos, he's really serving confidence. And I feel like he feels very empowered by how good this looks. I think if you're part of something that looks incredibly wow, you're just going to feel that energy. No information yet about this potential big reveal that we'll see at the end. I'm not going to spoil anything about that. I don't know myself what it is. But yeah, these were the most wow photos for me. And to do so wow with literally just black and white, this is a plain white LED, but it just pops against these like poorly lit dancers and Theo in the staging. These photos are really, really wow. And I do hope that if Sergio is raising the bar for artistic direction, that we get other people waking up more. People like Marvin Dietman, Sasha Jean-Baptiste, who've been on the scene for years and might have just gotten a little bit lazy or just formulaic in how they stage stuff. They might just wake up and get a little bit of a kick up the ass and just say, actually, I need to raise my game, take on less jobs. We've seen Marvin Dietman's only taken on 3 countries this year, whereas in 2021, he took on 7 or 8 or something. It was just too much. It's just, and then you can't do them properly, and then you get like kind of crappy packages on stage. Sergio's only doing 3, which means you can give them more attention. This is just really high quality. I feel significantly more confident about this qualifying now. Speaking of, let's jump straight into the qualification odds for semi-final number 1, because I've now reviewed every single country, and Cyprus has moved up to 7th. I believe they were 10th, and Croatia are still last. I have to admit, I am surprised by that, still sitting at 6 decimal odds. I'm not telling you what to bet and not bet, but I think that those are a little bit too long. I don't think it's that important. Like 6 to qualify is only a little bit ahead of what Don's had. Don's last year was 7 decimal odds to qualify, right up until the announcement, and he did. Like, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but if you look at that pack, Azerbaijan, Slovenia, Iceland, Portugal, Croatia, Iceland and Croatia are looking like deals there to me. They really do that. Based on those photos now, maybe we'll get new information and we're going to get to flop city. Poland are moving down to 8th. No big changes I can really see up at the top. We've kind of got our 6th there. Cyprus are moving up. Belgium still in 9th. San Marino 10th. I still need more. Someone convinced me that San Marino are going through. I'm just not seeing or feeling it yet. I don't see why that's so short compared to some of the other stuff that just looks much, much more impressive and doesn't have this deck doom curse. Can we call it a curse yet? I don't know. Tell me, has anyone qualified with decks? Let me know down below, other than Jost, who was only half decks. Yeah, other than that, no massive change. A little bit disappointing. Let me see. Let me reload. I'm going to just keep reloading until I get what I want. Yeah, but I thought the Croatia would move up more, but apparently not. Okay, let's go look at the winning odds. And we see that Cyprus have moved up to 11th now. They were 11th for the rehearsal, so it's not like they moved up since those pictures, right? They were 14th a couple of days ago, and now they've moved up to 11th. So no massive changes in the winning odds. I get that, though, because I think if you're looking at a photo, you need more information. You know, a photo can look great, and a perfect example of that is France, Lazara, évidemment, from 2023. Those photos, oh, they were absolutely and utterly stunning. But then the actual performance was just too static. They didn't give a super accurate description of what it actually felt like to watch the performance. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's not a photo show. It's a video show. So yeah, maybe people feel a little bit more confident when the videos are coming out. I'm just looking at any big movements. I don't really see. I know the odds pretty much up by her by now. Austria's moved up a lot, actually. They moved to 19%. I think there was 16 before. There's a description of Austria's performance. I'm not going to say it here because I don't want to give away spoilers for other stuff because maybe you didn't want that. But Austria's moved up quite a lot. Sweden were 39, they've moved down to 35. So a little bit of a closing of the gap there with Austria and Sweden. No other big changes I can see. Let me go quickly through who my winners are. I think Cyprus, yeah, really, really wow photos. I saw Croatia. Gosh, I really, really like Croatia. By the way, I'm talking about all the semi-final, not just the second half. So I like Poland's ones as well. They'd be my 3 who were just looking at them and just like, oh, wow. That's what delegations have shown. Doesn't mean, for example, that Netherlands isn't wow. The delegation have just strategically decided we're not going to show it off yet. I got to give a shout out to Iceland as well. I thought their photos look great. Sweden's definitely keeps me thinking that they can still win. And then, you know, the ones I'm disappointed in are a little bit obvious. Slovenia and Portugal from yesterday. Today, it's actually no one really thought. Azerbaijan, I don't really feel like I know the performance any better. I feel like they gave away so little, and I don't even really know what the main color palette's going to be throughout the performance. And then San Marino, still just hoping that they're going to bring the party. I don't know if they've hit what this needs to really pop. Okay, that's what I thought about this 8 songs in the second half of the first semi-final. What did you think? Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you to those who've been supporting me on PayPal and Buy Me Coffee. If you want to support the channel, leave a QR code here and a link in the description. Also, I've started memberships on the channel. If you want to join, there's a join button down below. And of course, thank you to all my wonderful patrons for patronizing me from all around the world. On my Patreon, you can get loads of cool, am I going to say funky? Yeah, sure, it's fun and funky Eurovision stuff. Go check it out if you're a fan. But of course, thank you so much just for being here. I've seen another Eurovision analysis video very, 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 very soon. Goodbye.